So I just kind of want to rant for a couple minutes just because I have feelings I need to let out. So I hope you enjoy hearing my shit. And if you hear noise in the background, that is a fish tank. Anyway, so like I've mentioned before, I've had a history of issues with food, and I guess ever since I went through that period of time of recovery where I finally got up to a healthy weight, and I've been maintaining that healthy weight for a couple years now. And I'm eating consistently. I'm not engaging in behaviors, even though sometimes I really want to. I'm taking care of myself a lot better than I was in the past. One thing I don't think I've really talked about before is I'm also technically disabled, but the disabilities I have aren't super noticeable unless you were an actual doctor who took an x-ray or whatever. I have scoliosis and torticollis, which basically affect my whole body, pretty much head to toe, mainly my neck and back, but since there's so many nerves there and those nerves are connected to everywhere else, it basically affects my entire body, and some days it's worse than others depending on the day. Some days I will struggle to just walk and move around. I struggle with feeling weakness randomly in my arms and legs, things like that. And I do have a brace. I do have a couple of braces that I use for mostly support, since I was not given braces as a kid. They're not made exactly for me, if that makes sense, because I'm fully grown. I can't really grow into the right shape, I guess, by using a brace, if that makes any sense. I'm not good at explaining everything, but basically certain treatments, because I was told when I was younger that my issues weren't bad enough to treat using those methods, that I was never given certain treatments because I didn't have my disabilities bad enough. But as I've gotten older, the disabilities have progressed, but it's kind of too late now for a lot of treatments, because when I was younger I just didn't qualify for them. So it's just frustrating dealing with the whole healthcare thing, where it's basically I'm being told, hey, you have these issues. These issues are going to get worse as you age, but you don't qualify for treatments that are often given to people who have similar issues to you because your issues aren't bad enough, but the issues you have will progress as you get older, and depending on how your body reacts to those issues, it potentially might affect like walking and stuff long term, just depending on my body. And because I have I have a history of like anorexia and stuff, my body is just not as strong as it would have been since I was pretty much underweight for all my teenage years for the most part. Except for like during the end there, but when I was like, around like 13 or 14-ish, when people tend to do majority of growth, I guess, when people kind of start hitting that maximum height kind of thing, I was not healthy. So comparing to other people my age, like, I'm a little, I guess, underdeveloped. If that makes any sense. Like, if I never had those issues with food, I would have probably been a lot taller and, probably look more adult by now. Instead, I am just this tiny goblin. But anyway, because I have a history of all that junk, when I gained weight and became healthy physically, I did start realizing things that I think were just kind of covered up by my eating issues before. Like, the stereotypical person with eating issues will oftentimes have body dysmorphia. And, I am just frustrated because while I have been talking to many different therapists and stuff, they have brought up the possibility that it was never body dysmorphia and that potentially it was dysphoria, and that unlike body dysmorphia, dysphoria actually somewhat has treatments for it, like physical treatments, like, you could do your own research if you're curious. So I've been kind of pestering them a little bit here and there about wanting to see a professional, someone who actually, specializes in it and knows both about dysmorphia and dysphoria, and see if maybe my diagnosis was wrong, and if it is wrong, what my options are and what I can do about it. Because since my body is somewhat healthy aside from the disability issues, I should be able physically to handle a lot of the treatments. Of course there are worries about like people having negative reactions. Like, with a past partner, I discussed this issue with them, and they were very irritated at the idea of me going through treatment for it if I potentially did have it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't want to make people's lives more frustrating than it has to be, because, you know, life in general, shit happens, you know. It's not fun, and if I can avoid upsetting someone, I will do my best to. Like, if I can take some of that stress off their plate, that I will do my best to do that, because, you know, I want to help people. And I don't know. My psychologist is nervous about the idea of giving, you know, like, looking more into it, I guess, because she's like, oh, lots of people deal with that, kind of thing, and that because I have a history of eating issues, that I might use it almost like an excuse for all of that happened. And that's frustrating. That's, no, you know, I know there's issues, and if there are treatments for the issues I'm struggling with, I want to try. You know, I want to see what my options are and try different things out and see if they potentially help and make me feel physically more comfortable, because the disability issues already cause enough body image issues as it is. And just, it's very irritating, and yeah, I have been kind of experimenting a little bit with less permanent options, just small things here and there, such as binding, and it does help a lot. It really does. Like, I feel like I could actually get up and move around. Like I have more motivation even on days where I am in a lot of pain, just because I feel like physically I, you know, look better and feel more comfortable seeing myself that way. But yeah, I don't know, I guess I've been called a bit of a perfectionist sometimes, and sometimes I just feel like the binder isn't enough, and I would like to go a step further in, you know, seeing what my options are, you know? Because of the way I present myself, I don't think a lot of doctors necessarily believe how I'm feeling. And the history of, you know, just being underweight for years doesn't help. And yeah, just the whole healthcare industry is frustrating, and it's just something I've been really frustrated about, and I don't know if anyone else could relate to this, because it's kind of a very exact situation, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm not good with words. Yeah. I don't really like talking about it with people just because I feel like the topic of it does make people uncomfortable. Um, and I feel a little weird about bringing it up, especially to like family and stuff. So, yeah, strangers on the internet it is. So, hope you enjoyed or at least tolerated my awful rant. Um, but yeah, bye.